Senator Buck.
Good morning to each one of you. I hope you've enjoyed your breakfast. It's my pleasure to introduce to you a good friend, my congressman, Rokita. As Indiana's Secretary of State, first elected in 2003, Todd made sure that he was going to bring new technology, more innovation, while at the same time operating on a budget that was used 16 years earlier. And people didn't think he could do it, but he did. As Vice Chairman of the Budget Committee, Congressman Rokita battles against tax and spend cultures while proposing common sense reforms and programs like Medicaid and Medicare. As Chairman of the Subcommittee on Early Childhood, Elementary and Secondary Education, Congressman Rokita fights for a stronger educational system that returns local control and authority to parents, teachers, and instead of federal bureaucrats. These values can be seen in the Every Student Succeeds Acts, which Representative Rokita co-authored. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce to you my friend, my Congressman, Rokita.
Thank you, Jim. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. No group like ALEC would start at 8 o'clock for sure, so it's good to see so many people already in their seats. Thank you, Senator Buck, for that great introduction. An excellent leader in Indiana for years now. He's been a rock that so many of us, and many of us young folks who came into public service after him are able to rely on. And something you might not know about the senator is that he started off life as a Democrat. Sure, no. But he quickly learned why he wasn't a Democrat. I think it was you were a union member too, UAW. Yeah, and if you're in Kokomo, Indiana, over the last several decades, it was hard not to be one of those two things, or both of those two things. But it was the leadership of Senator Buck that has really not only helped turn the state around, but turn that community around to where conservative values have a fighting chance and we're gaining ground every day. So Senator, thank you for your leadership in the state. Of course, I want to give a shout out to all my Indiana legislators. I saw David Frizzell earlier, and I hear there's about 20 of us here at this conference, second only to the state of Texas, perhaps my second favorite state, but I only saw David so far, which means the Indiana delegation had a late night last night, apparently. Look, I have, not only as a congressman, but as former Secretary of State, been following ALEC, really appreciate what you do. There are a lot of us in Congress who appreciate what you're doing, what you're about. We also appreciate the members, the sponsors who support you. And we understand that there's intimidation tactics going on. The one I just heard of this morning, I think it'll be filled in on later. Please remember to support your members and your sponsors, because we are all in this fight together for free markets, for federalism. Working with legislatures, when you're in the executive branch like I was, working with the legislature is so important. And I learned that firsthand when I was Secretary of State. We did photo ID at the polls together. We were the first state in the nation to have a successfully implemented system that was tested at the Supreme Court and all the way up there and back, where we got a 6-3 decision. So if you're looking for any information on photo ID and how to do it in a constitutionally testable, suitable way, please ask my office, ask Senator Buck, ask David Frizzell. They were all in this together when we got it done almost a decade ago. Now, I'm here to quickly talk about the Every Student Succeeds Act. It is a product that was put together on the basis of an earlier bill that came out of my Education and Workforce Committee along with Congressman Chairman John Klein. Our product was a lot more conservative, you might say. The Every Student Succeed Act is the bipartisan solution that came out. The conference committee was actually signed by the president. However, even so, here's the takeaway. According to the Wall Street Journal editorial board, it was the most devolution, the most federalism they have seen out of any bill in 25 years. One little bill, here's the crux of it. No Child Left Behind, the core of No Child Left Behind, in my opinion, was what we call adequate yearly progress. It was that well-intentioned but impossible idea that we were going to catch every child in the classroom up to grade level reading within 1 year. And it has done nothing, in my opinion, but cause stress among the kids, among the teachers, all around. And after 13 years of trying to achieve it, it wasn't nearly achieved. So we got rid of it. We eliminated adequate yearly progress in the Every Student Succeeds Act. It is no longer the law of the land. But we did not eliminate accountability. Accountability is still very much there. The big difference is you, the state legislatures, get to decide what success looks like. Yes, you have to test. Yes, you have to test in certain subjects in grades 3 through 8, and then once again in high school. But how long you test, the kind of test you use, methodologies, everything else in your accountability system is up to you. You can decide what success looks like, and the Department of Education cannot judge it. You have to file a plan, but that plan is automatically made transparent to the voter and the taxpayer. It cannot be denied by the Department of Education, and it cannot be a basis for you to get your property back, i.e. tax dollars. We also do a lot of other things. We eliminated 49 federal government education programs. I started out in my bill with 79, and the compromise, so to speak, was 49. But we don't eliminate the funding. Funding actually increases slightly. We do take that money into basically a block grant, and we give it back to the states for you to spend on education. It can't be spent on roads, but anything you want in terms of education. We also get rid of the federally mandated teacher assessment. No longer, from a federal perspective, will teachers need to be tested or assessed. You may want to do that. You may want to come up with whatever methodology or whatever procedure you want for testing your teachers, but it will no longer be a federal mandate. It's in your hands. We also get rid of the Common Core requirement at the federal level. Now, someone needs to tell Donald Trump this, but it is gone already from the books at the federal level. And I understand it's too sexy of a political point not to make, but it is not there. No longer can the Department of Education require Common Core or any national kind of national standard as a prerequisite for you to get your property back. If you want Common Core in your state, that's up to you. Whatever standards you want are up to you. You need to have a set of standards as the only requirement. So again, I think there's tremendous movement in that regard. And I'll end up here with a little discussion about a pilot program that is way down in the weeds of the bill, but it demonstrates some movement on the issue of portability. We certainly do not have the votes to get vouchers done at the federal level at this point in time. Doesn't mean we don't keep fighting. For example, the District of Columbia Vouchers Act is still the law, and we still use that as a basis to promote portability and vouchers. However, we do create in the Every Student Succeeds Act a 50 school district per pupil funding pilot project. So 50 school districts in the United States can apply for a pilot program where you can take federal funding, add it to your state and local funding, and have that funding follow the student to the public school of their choice in a per pupil fashion. If it's a low-income student or a disabled student, that will be the focus. But again, it's the idea that we're able to attach Title I federal funding to any student and have that follow them to the public school of their choice. 50 school districts in the nation can apply for this, and after 3 years, we negotiated this law for the caps to come off. So that's some good promise for us to continue to build on our goal of true portability and ultimately a voucher system. What did we have to trade for this? Well, actually not too much. And I use the term trade or trade-off instead of compromise. And if there's one observation I could make, we ought to stop using the word compromise because it signifies that we're giving up our values. When really sometimes what we're doing when we're getting these deals done, we're trading something significant we like for something we like. And that's a difference. So what we traded for all the things I just mentioned was the formalization of pre-kindergarten. So it's been going on in an ad hoc fashion now for several years in the appropriations process. We formalized it in the authorization process. It's something that many liberals like, early childhood intervention. Some of us conservatives might call it too early of an age for institutionalization or so forth, but we are seeing some good data come out of that. However you feel about it, the president was able to sign the bill because he got some of that early childhood funding formalized in this law, and it's going to continue moving forward. But other than that, I think this Every Student Succeeds Act was a tremendous win for conservative principles, for federalism, for the idea that education is your bailiwick, not the federal government's. We weren't able to eliminate the Department of Education. I didn't have the votes for that, even though I filed that bill too. But we did really reduce the footprint and the authority of that department and took a good deal of its funding authority and moved it back to you again where it belongs. Thanks for letting me talk to you.
Please welcome back to the stage, Leo.